like the colors. You know, again, a lot of times for me, it's about color contrast. You know, you don't want the the figures to be lost in the dial. You want the dial to just be a background. That's what it should be. And you know, I've said that a million times. This game is all about the action figures, the posing, and the dial just, you know, helps. Crushed up, and some cement is crushed up, so I went with that look, and I thought it looked pretty good. And again, it's just that whole color contrast. Again, you know, I'm big into it, and I think it's always a good look. So yeah, man, this is pretty much it. This is it. Definitely happy with the way it came out. Happy with the choices that I yeah, and so you can light up the back and kind of get that effect, and again with these lights here you can get that type of effect. So it gives it definitely a lot of different angles to shoot from, and as always, you know, that's my goal, man, just to make it as multi-use as possible. And she helped. Not only did she create the shower curtain, she helped paint it. So she put about 40% of the paint job is hers. So very much appreciate my girl for coming through and helping out. Good looking out. And so yeah, pretty much complete. Now it's time to seal it, pack it up. She distressed the floor. We stained it, she distressed it. She hooked up the fire spots, the burn spots there. So basically this is just a couple of little fires had started at some point. They got turned off on time to not destroy the rest of the die, or the rest of the dojo rather. Everything else is just you know, dirty and just abandoned. You know, just a dojo that's not being used anymore. But it's these straps up top, and then I created this reinforced balsa wood with like some skinny sticks on the side, just to make it a little bit stronger. But it's removable. Obviously the bag from the hook, as well as this from the back. They would give them wax, and it would come in this little container. So I just made that. The electricity box. I again wanted to make sure that I was able to get different angles for Shannon to use. So luckily we got, you know, shots from here. You can take shots from here. You can take shots from the top. Put a little section in there to light down the door. Okay, so I am finally done with this. So this measures 22 inches? 22 inches across, 13 inches deep, 18 inches tall. Very similar to the dial that I made in video, so y'all can see how it ended up. After we airbrushed it, we threw some dirt on the floor and some weeds coming out the sides of the building. I was able to put the glass on that. Take that down for a second. Priceless laughs at me. She laughs at me in mid-video. We were able, Priceless actually. Alright everybody, so I haven't had a chance to turn the camera around and get into one of my rants. So I figured there's a good time, as it's a little bit of a slow season in terms of making dials and so forth. There's a lot of changes happening in my personal life, so it's been a little slow in terms of me getting the videos out or even working on something. Although I just set up a trade with my homie Ja, where he is going to make a custom action figure for me, and I'm going to make a throne dial type of situation for him, or of trade for him. So I'm looking forward to that. But just wanted to discuss a couple things that I think are stuff, just things that I haven't tied up or haven't completed in terms of the conversation. So this past summer I went to New York City, or to New Jersey. I got hired by a company who was hired to do the Toys R Us Big Book. So that was kind of the big secret, was that it was something that we're working on. It was this guy who had, a photographer who had his major account, his biggest account was Kids R Us. So Toys R Us, I guess they put up the bid in terms of who wanted to create that big book, which is usually, if you guys, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but the big book is just that Christmas book that they put out, that circular that they put out. That's pretty thick circular of everything that's coming out, you know, for Christmas and so forth. So I was in charge of doing the Skylanders, Amiibo, and Lego setup. The difficulty was that they didn't really have anything in terms of measurements. So my first day there, I practically did nothing. I just kind of stood around. And then the piece that was the highlight piece was kind of the Lego piece. They didn't even have that piece or the dimensions to it. I tried my best to create what they had in mind. Ultimately, they scrapped my project, and they internally did it themselves, and they used a little bit of different materials than I would have used, and it came out great. I saw the circular, so although it came out great, you know, I'm looking at the circular and I'm like, man, that would have been so dope to be able to open that book up and be like, yo, I did that work right there. That would have been amazing. But it was a great experience. Unfortunately, I didn't make the final cut. That's all right. And speaking of final cuts, ACBA tournament is still running, and it's been a great tournament year. Unfortunately, I got bounced, man. I didn't even make it to the final 25. Last year I finished in 7th, and this year I don't even know where I finished, but it was outside of the final 25, which is the 3rd round. Was definitely disappointed, as this year I entered with Priceless, so it was 2 of us. So I was definitely disappointed that we didn't make it to the final round, on top of the fact that my video got flagged within an hour of it being up. So I had to struggle with YouTube. Somebody flagged it and said it was offensive or something. And once YouTube took a look at it, they reversed that decision, and it got, you know, it was no big deal. It was, you know, reposted or re-uploaded, I guess. So that was kind of a bummer, you know, that you work hard and then within an hour of posting the video and you're ready for everybody to watch this video, and it's being, you know, the link is being posted, and every time somebody's clicking on the link, it's saying that the video got taken down. So I was disappointed. You know, so unfortunately, it was somebody who watches my channel and reported it. I'm not sure if it's one person that can report it and they'll shut it down, or a group of people. Whatever, you know, it is what it is. It was disappointing for me and Priceless, but at the end, it didn't matter because we didn't make it to the 3rd round. It is very important to understand that the ACBA tournament is no joke, man. It really is something you got to put your heart into, your energy and your time into. You just can't, let me just do something real quick. And unfortunately, we started a little later than what we wanted to. You know, the deadline was that Sunday at midnight, or 11:59 Eastern time that Sunday, and I officially started really working on it Tuesday, man. So you can't expect to bring that to it, to bring a few days and then for you to keep advancing. So it was definitely a lesson learned, man. Anything in life, really, man, if it's something that you value, something you want to do a good job at, especially when it comes to the arts, it's something you got to prepare for. You just can't decide that, you know, let me just work on this now and I have it in my mind, I just need to you know, to complete it. So it didn't work out, and that's all right. We'll try again next year. And then the last thing I want to leave you guys with is 4,000. I got 4,000 subs. I just saw that yesterday, and I'm, you know, extremely happy for that. I shouldn't say extremely happy. I'm not extremely happy. I appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it. I still find it amazing that you know, 50 people, or that 4,000 people watch these videos or subscribe, and you know, when I got to 50 subscribers, I was blown away. I was like, man, that's 50 people, is a lot of people to want to watch these videos that aren't edited very well, that aren't I just turn it on, I record, and I just go with it, man. It's rare whenever I scrap any sections of anything. You know, I stumble across my words, I call, you know, I'll say this is black when it's really blue, and you know, I'm having a good time with it. Never wanted to take it too serious, and so I'll continue to just approach it that way. As I'm getting closer to my 100th episode, I do want to switch up my my intro, and there are a few other projects I want to get into this coming year, 2016. I no longer have a part-time job. I was doing that about 15 to 20 hours a week in the morning, so that has freed up for me, which is great because it'll allow me to work on some projects that I wanted to work on, more specifically advancing the equipment that I currently own by having some raffles and some other things you know, through YouTube and Instagram and so forth. So definitely looking forward to that. And that's it, man. That's my no ranting, no no negativity, nothing. You know, at the end of the day, man, we get 100 years to live if we're lucky, and I look forward to the rest of my years here on this earth. So in the meantime, you know, I just live and let live, and you know, just continue to work on being in situations that just are bringing me happiness and joy. There's no point in being in a situation where you're miserable, whether it's a job, a relationship, or what have you. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, life is kind of short. So happy holidays to everyone. Thank you very much for the support this entire year. This year I got, obviously, most of my subs were this year, and you guys have, you know, always left comments and liked the videos and watched them, and I appreciate the good, the bad, all of it. You know, it's been you know, action figures and toy photography and making dials is just a wonderful hobby, man. It's such a real cool thing to be into, and in such a creative field, and such an up-and-coming field, to be honest with you, because we are at a point where it's starting to really expand, you know, and ACBA is doing a great job. And I know a lot of people's attitudes become, well, you know, just because it's an action figure and somebody's taking a picture of it, you guys call it ACBA. Well, if it's an action figure and somebody's taking a picture of it and it's contained and there's a speech bubble or a cutout above it, and yeah, that is ACBA. That is something that wasn't being done before ACBA came into existence. You know, that's the truth. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. So it's been a great year, man. It's been a great year. I've been able to you know, being an admin of the Dial Structure Group as well as ACBA, it's been great to be on the inside and see some of the inner workings and some of the ideas that are being thrown around. Being on the pod show every so often on the ACBA podcast has been great. It's been amazing. It's been a great year. So here's to 2016. Happy holidays to everyone and your families, and I will see you again shortly. Hi, y'all. Peace.